Hey YouTube, Climb here. Thanks for joining me on another gameplay breakdown episode. So I've gotten some trials from this week. It's seldom that I actually get, or this past weekend, it's seldom that I actually get a gameplay from most current. So here, just as a side note, this is a really bad play. I pushed in so aggressively with my blink, and thankfully I was able to get away from him. But I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, this was a really rough trials week. This is a lot of people love this map in the greater Destiny community and streamer community, but man, I sucked. Thankfully, with the help of Assault and another guy who picked up from his clan, so big shout out to Assault, I was able to get to the lighthouse on my Titan and Warlock. But man, another really bad aggressive push, and I should have been punished for that. It was really dumb. But man, my hunter just had some rough goes. I mean, best I got was 8-1. Had a lot of 7s, had a lot of 8s, but man, we just could not pull it through. And generally, I just don't feel strong in my hunter on this map for whatever reason. I never really thought about it like that, but my hunter just wasn't doing so hot. So at least I'm going to bring you this one gameplay from this weekend. This was just from yesterday with Jones and Watto, and great guys to play with. I'm sure you know them both. And I was actually able to do go positive and have some good plays. And Jones here getting some nice snipes. See his the enemy right next to the boxes. Had a great call out. He's reloading, getting his stuff ready. See this guy pushing in. And unfortunately, Jones had to reload. Oh man, that's heartbreaking. But it happens to the best of us. And these two nerds are just trying to hard scope him. And I'm, me and Watto, who are just trying to do our best to give Jones the greatest amount of data. Especially since it's getting into overtime, it's getting into the zone round. And that's a tough position for anyone to be in. 1v3s in general, especially when there's an objective at it. I do believe Jones gets another kill here. Yeah, it does really well, but unfortunately he's probably a little bit weakened at that point and got cleaned up. And so I think this round or in the next couple rounds, I finally start doing something well. I mean, look at me, 0 KD, super solid. But I think I finally start going in, and again, I have to advocate for this antinomy. I mean, I am just digging this antinomy. It feels so sticky, and it feels really well in the hands of my hunter, specifically, actually. And one thing Destiny does really well at is just how good the guns feel with these headshots. Like, there's nothing better than getting a headshot. So anyway, let me actually get into the gameplay here. So I'm rezzing, I'm hard scoping to see if he's going to push. This Warlock does push a little bit, but both Jones and I are up. We're trying to back up. I was going to reload, but he was above me, probably had a shotgun, so I'm now wanting to shift over. We're both going to shift over to this orb, make sure we have it. Unfortunately, I didn't reload earlier, so I couldn't get this reload down. I threw a grenade there just as he's respawning to get a little bit of damage on him. I figured this Titan's chasing me with his jug shotgun, and sure enough, I think he jumps up around the corner here, and I'm able to just gun him down. Again, tapping, using the last word, you got to tap that last word. Fortunately, Jones goes down here. I thought I could finish this guy off to the left. Wasn't paying attention to my radar. Plus, I think he was just outside of it for the majority of his, probably lining up his shot. And then I get gunned down there. But then earlier, my first snipe going around that corner, I peeked back out to throw that grenade off towards C. It was a bad play in some sense. I mean, I got lucky that I didn't die, but it was a good play in the sense that I used that as a zoning mechanic. So making sure that the other team doesn't push back into that orb. Man, sorry, I couldn't think of the word for a sec. So I wanted to chuck an orb up. I didn't want to push in too hard because then I would have been trapped at a 1v3 behind that wheel or in front of that wheel. So just be aware of how you're jumping and stuff like that, how you're engaging. I'm trying to get an angle on this guy around the corner. Can't really get an angle, so we're just going to get some special, reposition a little bit. Here the storm callers popped off in the background, so now we're just kind of running. We're just dispersing, we're not going to worry about team shooting or anything like that. Fortunately, Jones goes down. I'm going to stick it out here. Calling Watto to come back towards me, towards our spawn, excuse me. Crouching, you can see me just kind of stay off the radar to see where he's coming from, so he doesn't necessarily come attack me directly, but then I can kind of control where where the enemy's coming versus how I'm going to respond. So I think this dude still has his super up. I can't recall. But we do want to try to push this mid flank as best we can. We realize we're probably a little pushed, so we want to try to get an angle. So I'm calling Watto to push A. Just checking those sight lines, checking the sniper lines. There's nobody there. And jumping over that sight line to my right in case somebody was going to snipe or primary us off to there. So just be careful every time you enter and exit a doorway. You don't always see me do this, but I try to make it as best a practice as I can, is to make sure you're not always coming in at head height, because you almost want to expect someone to outgun you, which, I mean, kind of sucks. It's not necessarily like a positive mentality, but you just want to be prepared for someone to be there. So since time is running out, we're playing a little passive for sure, and so is this team. So we're just, because we want to just make sure we get control. And when the zone's up, everyone usually freaks out, both the opposite team. And so you just want to kind of be in control of that chaos. I get a nice little pick there, get a 3 or 4 tap there. Thankfully, Watto gets the great plan C shot, weakens him down, even though it didn't quite look like that on my screen. But that's how I was able to clean that other guy up so far. I don't think it just registered as quickly. So we played that really well as a team, engaging together, especially once we got that first pick. We really engaged together, and it worked out really well because the team, the opposite team, is trying to freak out and make sure that they get capture of the zone. All right, so unfortunately, Watto goes down. We know that this guy is going to be in mid because of the call out from the bridge. Stupid last word, couldn't explode that box. You see that guy down the left. I don't know how that box didn't kill him. It's at 123. Couldn't get that guy down either. I'm just trying to do my best to get that close to him being dead. And you see me kind of peeking in and out of there, so when you're using your primary, just peek in and out. Don't always try to walk out directly in line sight. So if I mess up here, I panic a little bit, and instead of whipping out my primary, I end up whipping out my secondary again. Tapping that last word, I was able to gun this guy down. I know this other Warlock is around the corner near bridge. We're zoned off a little bit by a lightning grenade, but one of my skip grenades, or I think Jones's skip grenades, are getting chased. So I know this guy's going to come up. I get a great little headshot on him, and then a double headshot on the res. That felt so good. That was probably my favorite highlight of this entire clip. The rest of it, I was kind of mediocre, even though my KD might say otherwise. But that was a lot of fun, just getting that quick. Because you saw me whip out my last word, and then I had to change back into my secondary. And thankfully, my sight line was still on that headshot. Regardless, we would have won it because our team was surrounding him. But it just feels good. It's just fun. So as the round begins again, trying to work those angles to see. I don't see anybody up on bridge. Once I look bridge, I don't see anybody on my left. Once I look left and I look down third C, I don't see anybody there. So now we're just going to reposition into this mid map. So we're trying to eliminate as many places as they are, so we can try to get this control. Get this dirty, quick little scope there. Barely seeing the glint of his scope. I know that Titan was there because of his the glare of his scope as I was jumping down. And here I'm just going to use my super to help clean up a little bit. I do like running it with invisibility because it allows for me to do kind of get a sneaky initial approach. And this is really the first time I'm using blink in a long time since they nerfed blink. Primarily because I've been watching Crafty, and I got that dirty drag scope. I was dragging that scope for like a mile. But I'm watching Real Crafty in the background of doing some work lately, and he runs blink, and I just decided to try to run blink a little bit. So this is pretty much his identical setup, except for he has the longbow, and I have the wonderful OP Enemy. It's the low-key meta, is what Robbie V calls it. So I'm being a little stupid aggressive here. I'm getting cocky from those last couple kills, last couple rounds. Thankfully I don't get picked. They pick up heavy. I'm expecting a rocket to come over, so I just chuck a grenade to piss him off, honestly, and I just book it out of there to reposition with my teammates. So I got to play a little bit more passive, right? My game plan is to snipe them down. I have no heavy. I have no major counterplay. So I'm just trying to run with my team, and literally I do nothing this entire round. I am running back and forth, trying to get an angle, trying to listen to call-outs, being greedy with my special, even though I get absolutely no more special. This guy does get tagged with my nade, which is great, but we're not close enough to really do anything. I don't want to push in with my last bird because I'm expecting him to have a shotgun. You know, in close quarters like that, you got to be thinking about that. When in close quarters versus sightline, you got to be expecting shotgun. And if you give them an inch, they're going to take a foot. They're going to use that sliding shotgun mechanic to really close the gap on you, or even jump over your sight line and close the gap. You know, that's something that I personally struggle with, is those aggressive teams. When they close that gap quickly, I certainly panic, and you can see it in some of my gameplay or my gunplay. And I'm sure that happens to a lot of us. It's just harder to make those decisions quickly. Alright, so this is our final round, and I'm trying to play smart. Watching those angles again, you see me look bridge, look left, and I was probably going to look up towards C. Jones pops his super, unfortunately goes down by this stupid Titan. I'm almost able to gun down that Titan, so I chuck a grenade to zone it off. I use it up against the wall as opposed to maybe down at my feet, because I thought there was a guy behind me. You know, sometimes my sniper cracks me up because I get some dirty headshots that don't necessarily make sense and are really sexy looking. But then that time, this guy's crawling half a mile an hour. I can't even shoot him once, I can't shoot him in the head, and I can't shoot him even twice, and this dude's not even moving. It just cracks me up. So now I'm just rotating around, trying to pinch this guy, figure out where he's at. Right there, I don't know if you heard it, but he popped his storm. You see it on the kill feed, and Watto's calling him out. Thought I can get a quick little snipe on him, but I didn't want to be too aggressive because he's chasing me hard, right? So I'm just doing my best to get the heck out of dodge. Jones is a great cover for me. Pop my super because I just didn't want to take any more chances, and then just finish it off with a nice 10 kill streak. So it wasn't necessarily my best gameplay, but it was a good team gameplay. My favorite round was, I think, the second or third round with those quick scopes on the reses. But just in general, this is a good team trials gameplay, a lot of good communication. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, certainly let me know. And I'm excited to bring you some more game content, as I know I've been a little slow lately. But be patient. I promise I'm going to get you some more to you. Thanks, everybody.